So there's this guy that made a 2.5 minute horror film in his apartment. No dialogue, no lighting package, no crew, and he posted it on YouTube. Somebody saw it, and that film got him a feature film deal. His name is David Sandberg. He posted his short films under the pseudonym Pony Smasher. No budget horror shorts that he made at home. That short is called Lights Out. If you haven't seen it, make sure you watch it after this. It's 2.5 minutes. I'll link it below. And in this video, I want to explain what that short film means for you. I show Lights Out to my students every year, not because it's a fluke, but because it is a proof of concept. It proves that what makes something work is not the gear, it's the story. It's the understanding of how tension builds, how a visual setup pays off, and how you can hold an audience for 2.5 minutes with nothing but a light switch and a clear idea. Pony Smasher, a guy making short horror films in his apartment, went on to direct the Lights Out feature, Annabelle Creation, and Shazam. And all of that started with a light switch and a clear idea. Now, I'm telling you that story because I want it to be the lens that you use for this list. Everything I'm going to recommend today is either going to help you understand the craft better, or it's going to help you execute it more cleanly. Those are the two categories, and I'll be honest with you about which is which. And the ones that matter most will come first, and I'll link everything below. Item 1 is Steal Like an Artist. This is the book that I recommend to every filmmaker who is stuck when it comes to ideas. And it's not about stealing. It's about understanding where creativity actually comes from. And spoiler alert, it comes from the work that you absorb, the influences you mix, and the connections you make between things that do not seem related. For filmmakers and creators, that really matters, because the question, what do I make, is almost always harder than how do I make it. This book helps with the first one. It's a short read and it's practical. I reread sections of it regularly. Item 2 is Save the Cat by Blake Schneider. Now, if you want to understand story structure, and I mean actually really understand it, not just know the words, this is the book. Schneider wrote it for screenwriters, but the principles actually apply to any video that you're going to make. He breaks down why audiences connect with characters, how to structure a 3-act story without it feeling mechanical, and why certain films work and others don't. Most beginner filmmakers do not have a story problem, they actually have a structure problem. They have an idea, but they don't know how to shape it into something that actually holds together. And Save the Cat fixes that. Item 3 is Psychology for Screenwriters. And this one, in my view, doesn't get talked about enough. Indic connects Jungian psychology, Freudian theory, and other frameworks to the way stories are written, and specifically why audiences connect with certain characters and not with others. It sounds pretty academic. It's not. It's actually pretty practical. And if you've ever watched a film and genuinely cared about what happened to the characters, and then watched another one where you felt nothing, this book actually explains why. And once you understand why, you can start making deliberate choices with your own work. Story is not just structure, it's psychology. And this book is where those two things actually meet. Item number 4 is Cinematography, Theory, and Practice by Blaine Brown. This is the textbook that I actually use to help me structure classes in my courses. So if you really want to understand the camera, not just how to use it, but why the decisions that you make behind it affect what the audience feels, this is where you should start. Brown covers lenses, exposure, composition, lighting, movement, all of it, and he connects the technical to the creative. Most beginner filmmakers know how to press record, but this book teaches you how to think before you actually press record. It's pretty dense, read it slowly, come back to it. It's the kind of book that you're going to use for years. Item number 5 is the Color Correction Handbook by Alexis Van Herkman. If you're working in DaVinci Resolve, this is your frickin' reference. Color grading looks like a finishing step, but it actually changes how the audience experiences the story. The wrong grade can undercut a well-shot scene. The right grade can make a low-budget production look really intentional. Van Herkman explains not just what to do, but why it works. Scopes, color theory, workflow, everything you need to understand what you're looking at when you are color grading. In my view, it's worth every dollar, and I keep this copy on my desk. So the books are done, now the gear, and I want to be really clear about something before we actually get into this. This stuff the equipment, the gear. It matters, but it matters less than what we just covered. These are the tools that help you execute. The books are what help you decide what to execute and why. With all of that said, here's the kit I actually use and recommend. Item 6 is the Amaran Ray 60C. And I'm actually holding the bag because this is my main key light. It's an RGB light that gives you good output without breaking the bank in my view, and I'm using it right now. If you're shooting talking head content, YouTube videos, interview style footage, you need a key light. Your camera cannot fix bad lighting. This one is a solid starting point. Item number 7 is the DJI Mic 2. I'm holding the case right here. These are wireless lav mics. They're the ones that I use. Here is the rule. Viewers are going to forgive average video. They're not going to forgive bad audio because bad audio makes content unwatchable in a way that bad video does not. The DJI Mic 2 is small, it's easy to set up, and the audio quality is genuinely good for the price. So if you're creating video content of any kind, a wireless lav mic is not optional. DJI make other mics too. Just do your homework on them and pick the one that feels the best fit for you. Item number 8 is the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. Now, this is the camera I would point most beginner creators towards right now. I shoot my YouTube videos on the first version of this camera, and that's why I can't hold it and show it to you right now. It uses interchangeable lenses, it has an HDMI output, it has good autofocus, a flip screen for solo shooting. Is it the best camera in the world? No. Is it a solid tool that gets out of your way and lets you focus on your work? Yes. And that's what matters when you're actually starting out. Item number 9 is the Ulanzi magnetic tube light. These are the small magnetic LED tubes that I use as background lights. They add depth to the frame. Without them, a lot of indoor setups are going to look flat, even with a good key light. They're inexpensive, they're flexible, you can put them anywhere, they make a real visual difference. There's one missing from my background right now because I'm actually holding it in my hand. Item number 10 is this little SmallRig light. I use it as a backlight to separate the subject from the background. It adds dimension, it makes the shot look a little bit more intentional. It's something you don't notice when it's done well, but you absolutely notice it when it's missing, like it is right now. This one's pretty affordable, it's small, you can fit it in weird little places, and it's well built. So here's what I want you to take away from all of this. The gear matters, but it matters at the end of the list, not at the beginning. David Sandberg, Pony Smasher, didn't make Lights Out because he had great equipment. He made it because he understood story, he understood tension, he understood how to use what he had. And this is the variable that changed everything for him. It wasn't the camera, it was the story. So I'll link all of the things that I've talked about today in the description down below, including any Prime Day deals that are live when you're actually watching this. But buy the books first, and I'm being serious about that. Now, if story is the most important thing, and I just spent this whole freaking video arguing that it is, then the question is, how do you actually get better at it? And that is what the SCORE story structure framework is for. SCORE stands for Setup, Conflict, Overdrive, Reversal, and Enlightenment. It's the framework that I've developed for my students and for myself to take the principles in books like Save the Cat and Psychology for Screenwriters and turn them into a practical system that you can actually use when you're planning your projects. I put together a full guide to it. It's $29 at launch with a little bit of a discount code, link in the description. Now, if you're serious about building a stronger story foundation, that's where I would send you. And if you want the free version first, that's totally fair. I've got a full playlist on the SCORE framework right here on the channel. It goes through every beat of the structure with examples of different projects. That's linked in the description too, and I'll link it up here as well. So when you're ready to go deeper, the guide's there, but you can start with a playlist first. I'll see you there.